Okay, now to the next step, how to grade my assignments, how to grade my activities. I already created my activity. I decided which type of activity I wanted or needed. Now it's time to grade it. So, same steps. Make sure you're in the right place. Make sure you're logged in. Go to the assignment sections. Now you can do this directly from the assignment if there's a specific assignment you want to look for and you want to grade it. Or you can also do this from the gradebook section, right? You can see that the gradebook gives you options here. It tells you the name of the activity, names of the students. So you can directly modify the grade from here, right? By clicking into giving it a different grade. Or you can go directly to the activity and then you'll see a list of all the students, which is what I'm going to do now. You can do it from here, but I'm going to do it the other way so it doesn't get you don't get confused. So I go to assignments and I look for the assignment that I want to grade, right? And let's say in this case, I want to grade this activity, past tense review. Okay, very good. Uh, like I said in the previous video, this activity covers the basics, has instructions, has an image, it has questions. Teacher already set a question for this. Write the 14 verbs in past tense from page 86. Now let's go to the grades. This is how we can grade it, okay? And this will give me a summary of just this activity. It tells me my students, it tells me their grade, okay? Right? If that this little symbol is right here, it means that they already accessed the quiz and actually the quiz is graded. Okay? So if there was nothing here, there would be a little pencil here to say grade. And the little pencil, you can click on that or you can click on the little piece of paper. So let's do this one right here. Let's say this is the student I want to check. And first thing is telling me the student has not submitted an answer, okay? Which means he didn't take the time to log in and upload the picture or whatever the teacher asked him for. This is the space where we're going to be grading, okay? Regardless if it's an automatic graded quiz or they have to upload a file, whatever. The grade box is the same for all of the activities. So this displays right here my student's name. I can actually access all my list by clicking here. I can jump in between students, or I can click on the arrow to go to the next student or the previous student in the list. So in this case, I want to do Ramos Elias, okay? It's Pat's due, 0 attempts, maximum score 1. Allow late submissions. No, it's not time. Now, this is what I was telling you in the document and in the previous video. Okay, we cannot have this in our gradebook because this will move or this will modify the final average once the period is done, and this will make you as a teacher go and check grades manually. And trust me, you don't want to do that. It's a nightmare. So just make sure that your students are all graded. Now, this right here says past due attempts, but there's no grade. As you can see, even if the 0 is here, that's not a grade. Okay? The way we would grade it with a 0 is go right here in this little flag. Now, sometimes the web page gets crazy and you scroll over it and there's no little flag there. What I recommend you do is you go and you refresh the page and then you'll see the little flag. You go on the little flag and this will give you a preset criteria, which is missing, incomplete, absent, or excused. Whichever is the case, this needs to have one of these or a grade. There cannot be a blank, there cannot be a 0 here. Okay? So let's say you already talked to the students, you gave him a chance, no, he didn't respond. Okay, so it's missing. Once this little circle is here, Okay, then you can say, oh, okay, it's graded. Or if you want to uh, grade it and not give him the whole percent, let's say I don't want to give him a 0 because he did some work in class, but I don't want to give him a 10. The way to do this is first you start from the highest grade, which is 10, okay, which is 14 points. And here you can see a plus minus symbol. You want to deduct points, okay? So here I want to deduct 7 points. I want to subtract 7 points because you didn't turn it in on time, blah, 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 blah. You make a comment here. You save it, and there we go. His final grade is 5. Okay? Maybe you can make some comments here. Hey, buddy, you didn't submit it on time. You can record yourself. You can send them a video. You can send them a file. You can upload an image, an audio, a template, whichever you decide to use. And you hit post, and the student will be able to see the comment or the reason that you graded him the way you graded him. Okay, but once again, you cannot have a 0 here or a missing status here. All right, we all have to have all activities graded. Let me see if um, I can show you another example. Um, let's say this one right here. Okay, I have my questions. I have my submission status. This is which students have submitted. And I go to grades. Okay, as I can see here, everyone submitted this activity. All right, but it's just an example. Let's say that he didn't. So there's a little pencil there. I click. Okay, the student has not submitted an answer yet, and he has a 10. So what I can do here, once again, I go to the little flag, and I use. You see how my menu is not dropping down? This is what I was telling you earlier. Sometimes it does that. It gets frozen, but then I just refresh, and now I can see my menu here. Okay, so I'm gonna say that my student was excused because he was sick. Okay, but I still want to grade him. I don't want to give him a 10. So I'll deduct 1 point because you didn't submit the picture, you didn't submit the answer, whatever. There we go. And there we have a 9. Easy as that. Okay. I can put comments here. I can post comments. I can let him know why he had a 9, etc. Let's just bring him back to the original. Great. Okay. All right. So that'll settle itself. Perfect. And that's the way basically that we grade all our activities and all our assignments. Now, an important an important pointer here. Remember that at the end of every period, we have to have all our activities given. Okay, there will be some times that you don't have enough time in your class to take a look at an activity or things, or you rather use your time in a different doing something else, doing something different, practicing something different, and you didn't have enough time for the platform. So it's very important that we always catch up. And when the grading period ends, we just make sure that all our activities are given. Okay, we cannot have any little X's and little pencils here. Like this right here means that you have 25 students that already answered and you haven't checked their answers. Okay. Oh, this is a good example. This is the offline code, which I was telling you about that teachers normally use for participation. Okay. As you can see, this has not been given. So the students didn't have access to this information, which means since it was the web page, probably the teacher just go ahead and gave the class because there was only information there, but he forgot to grade the participation, right? He missed that day and he said, "Oops, class is over. I'm going to go home, or I'm going to call it a day." And he forgot to grade it. So this is an extra grade students are missing in their grade book. Okay, so it says here that 25 students are waiting for a grade. So we click on the little pencil, and this is going to be a great example. You see, no one is graded, right? No one is complete. No scores, no grades. Okay, so when I click here on grade, I can give grades manually, right, based on participation. Now sometimes teachers are old school and they like to have their own notes in their notebook or in a piece of paper and have their lists and whatnot. What I recommend, which is usually faster and easier, whenever working with participation, use a rubric, use a digital rubric, and include it in the assignment. And this is very, very simple. Actually, this is super example. We're going to go to this tab which says use rubric. Okay, so because you want to use a rubric to grade this assignment, you either have the opportunity of creating a new rubric, which I will be discussing in another video, or importing a library, which is what we normally do. Importing one from the library, sorry. Okay, so I click on the library and I look for the file. Maybe I talk to my partner and say, "Hey, you guys have a rubric I can use for fifth grade or sixth grade or whatever," and they will tell you in to say, "Yes, yes, we have a, for instance, here class rubric." Okay, all right, 6B. I just click here, save, submit, and the rubric has been added. Okay, good. Now I go to grades again, and I start grading my students. But now I have a rubric here. I don't know if you noticed, this wasn't here before. This little yellow symbol means I'm going to grade not manually, not directly, but with the use of a rubric. So according to each criteria, when I scroll over the number or the grade, it tells me the concept. For example, 20 points. It's fair. Why? Student was late for class, but stayed in the rest of the class. Good. A student was present in class on time. So forth, so forth, so forth. So I just go and select whatever criteria my rubric has. I click on save, right? And there we go. I have a grade for my student. Now, as with the previous example, I can also eliminate points or add points or give it a status. If the student was absent, if he was excused, if it was incomplete, etc. This is very common with participation when students don't log in, then you will put absent. Or when they log in for 5 minutes and then they leave the class, right? Well, then we would mark it incomplete and you were graded, and probably make some comments here. Hey, you only stayed for 5 minutes. Be careful next time, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Basically, that's it, guys. That's how we grade our assignments. Like I said, this is only for um, the assignment section. You can do it through here, or you can do it directly through the gradebook, which gives you a general overall of all activities during your term. But it's very, very important to keep one thing in mind. If your assignments have this little red X, which means not given, they will not appear in your gradebook. Automatically, they will not appear in your gradebook because they haven't been assigned. Okay, so whenever grading period comes here is here, we have to make sure that all activities are given, at least the ones that we worked in class, and that's why I cannot tell you how important. I cannot repeat this enough. and tell you how important it is to grade your activities every single day. Please do not wait until the end of the week. Do not wait until the end of the month, because we're human, because we make mistakes, because we forget. And um, when grading period is over, you'll have yourself the work of 8 weeks to do in a couple of days. And this is going to be crazy, because you have to be randomly going over grades and checking cell by cell and checking assignments and checking dates and checking comments. And it's just crazy. And all this could have been avoided by just simply taking some extra time after your class and making sure that all your assignments are done. Okay, like I mentioned in the document, we have a period of 48 hours. But please, guys, don't wait until the end of the week. Don't wait until the end of the term. Do it every single day after class, okay, or at the end of your day. We usually have 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours a day of administrative time to do this. So you can easily grade your activities 10 minutes tops, it's done. That way you won't have to worry about any missing grades, any missing students, not remembering a specific situation. Okay? So there it is. That's how we grade assignments.